All right, Kellen, now we're taking a look at your butterfly from the underwater view as you're coming towards the camera. Again, I really like your head position. Your eyes are looking towards the bottom of the pool. That gives you high hips. That gives you a good body line. It gives you more of a streamlined butterfly, so I really like that. As we get a little closer here, we'll talk about the fly a little bit. You can just see as you're pulling, you turn those hands out, and it creates this width for your pull that's quite wide. Your hands are really far out. Would like to see your hands staying a little more palms towards the bottom, maybe a little bit of a turnout, but then your arms at the elbows will be kind of turned back inside of where the hands are now. So the hands will be a little closer than they are now. And you can see if you start that wide, then when you get to this point, we should be very close to almost touching. A lot of the best flyers in the world, their hands are very close at this point in time. You can see you're here and you're here, so there's still, a good foot between the hands, or 14 inches, something like that. You want to be in a little tighter, maybe an inch or two between the hands. Those thumbs should be almost touching at that point. That's a greater leverage point, so you get more power out of the pull when the hands are in tighter like that. And so yours are just a little wider. You just see the hands right there turning out. If I was seeing this just watching someone swim and I had to guess what stroke you were doing right here, I would say breaststroke, because the way the hands are turned. And we don't want, again, to turn those hands out to the side as we're pressing the water. Creates a wider pull. Again, I can't say enough about the eyes and the head position in a good spot. Again, right here, as you're getting closer to the camera, I would like to see your hands in here, closer to the hips, and not so wide at this point. So they should be almost touching, and then they should get to where they're kind of brushing the hips as they come out, and you can just see you're a little more wide than that. And then as we come forward in that next stroke, same thing. You can just see it up closer. It just gives you how those hands are pushing outward. Again, we don't want the hand turning here and pushing wide like this before we get into the catch. We want the hand to come in a little more palm down, and it angles just a little bit to the side, but more of it is pressing the water down and back behind you. So more in this angle here. Oh, messed up that line, but more in this angle here at the first part of the press, the initial part. So it's a more downward and creating higher elbows in terms of your butterfly. And this is a lot more of a breaststroke position to press from. And then you do a good job of getting here. But because the hands push out, again, we want to be really tight with the hands here, so they should be that close. And you can just see yours are this wide apart if I was drawing a line between the hands, and they should be that smaller line. That's how close they should be at that point. But if you push out like you're doing, then the hands are going to be wider on that part of the pull. And then we can just see a little harder to tell in the turn part there, so close to the view, but you can just see your angle, your feet are crossed, and then you can see your angles out to the right. We want to be straighter off the wall, but we don't want the feet to be kind of crossing over as we're pushing off. We want them side by side.